everyone, it's Julia. I wanted to share with you how I am adding just a little bit of detail with these stencils on some of my projects. These stencils are flexible. They're by Crafter's Square. I believe Dollar Tree carries them. They were gifted to me from a wonderful subscriber. Thank you so much. I'm using them all the time. I just love them. I love how small the design is. It just adds just a little bit. Here is a shirt that I did. This is a thrifted shirt that I just kind of deconstructed and then added these whimsical patches to them, added trim and some hand stitching. I'll be showing how I do this in another project, but because this is a washable project, I wanted to use my archival inks. They are permanent, and I'm just using a makeup brush, and I'm going to just add with this stencil just a little bit of color. Love these little butterflies. This color is the Paradise Teal. And again, these makeup brushes, all this will be linked down below, the things that I can find for you. But these makeup brushes work wonderful to just get that color in. And you can see just adds a little bit of detail besides the fabric. I just kind of like, it's just like a mixed media project, just adding different types of art to your design. And this little patch is on the bottom of the shirt, and just going to put this sitting butterfly on this patch. You may recognize this from last week's project. It's one of my little fabric notebooks. I'll link that video down below if you did miss it. But I wanted to add some color to the back of this little booklet. And in this one, I'm going to lay the whole stencil on top of it. I love this particular one because those little interesting textures, I guess you could call them. I'm just going to lay that out. I'm using my Distress Oxide ink pads for this project because this isn't washable. Distress Oxide is not permanent, and it is going to activate with more water and just move around. But I love using them with stencils. They're very creamy. And I wanted to point out, when I started my collection of Distress Oxides, I started with these 3 colors because they blend really, really well. And you're going to see I can get purples, I can get greens. The 3 that I'm using is the Wild Honey, Picked Raspberry, and the Peacock Feathers. And you can see how many different colors I can get from those. I'm going to add just a little bit of that mustard to the front here. Almost looks like a sun. And you can see it there. It's really cute. And on to my next project. I make these cards. I do this in front of the TV at night. It's just, you have my tension hoop there, and then I just do little patchworks and slow stitching, and then add them to a card, just a blank card surface. But I wanted to add, again, just some a stencil on this and some words. This particular Distress Oxide is the Abandoned Coral. And just centering that little bit of that design. And that's what I mean by, I love how small these designs are, because you can stick them in different really easy places. And again, I'm going to add, this is another Crafter's Square. They have wonderful ink stamps as well. So I'm just going to add this word that says, "Have a nice day," at the bottom of this greeting card. I love adding patchworks to my cards because I'm really into fabrics, and it just kind of goes along with my collection of stuff. On to my last project. I make these lavender sachets. I have a more detailed video on those, and I'll link that down below. They measure 3 by 4, and I basically just cut scraps of that I have left over, piece of batting on the back side of it, and I just have a collection of different patches that I stitch on. But I wanted to add again some words using my Distress Oxide, because these are not washable. I do fill them with lavender buds. But I love these words. It just adds such a pop of color and just really finishes off these lavender sachets. I'm making them in sets of 2, just for, just easier to get a couple, 3 of them done that are the same. I do sell these in my Etsy store. In packs of 2. Of course, you get 2 different ones when I sell them on my Etsy store. And then onto this one. This is a really cool color. It's the Seedless Preserves lavender color. And you can see how quickly it adds just what it needs, just that finishing pop. Back to the picked raspberry. That butterfly and flower that you see, those are just fabric motifs from a yardage fabric that I cut out and then added. Just going to show how I finish these off. I'm at my sewing machine. My wrong sides are together, and I'm going to be just stitching all the way around, leaving the bottom open. I'm just taking approximately 1/4 of an inch seam on that. And then I just take it over to this tub. I have my bag of my lavender seeds here, my lavender buds here, and this flexible little cup. About 1/4 of a cup is what I put in each one. And just open it up and just dump it in, pack it. And then I like to finish each one off with a little bit of fiber fill that kind of keeps the structure of it. Put a clip in that, and then I'll take it back to my sewing machine and then sew across that bottom. Just one last step. I like to finish the edges. It really gives it a cute look just by pinking it with my pinking shears. I have some pictures at the end here, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this. It just a little bit of how I add a little bit more detail to some of my designs. Here's the shirt. The card. That little notebook. All my notebooks are now in my Etsy store, as well as my lavender sachets. I don't think I'm going to put my cards in. Those will be sold in my little summer shop. Thank you, everybody who's joined me. I hope you have a great week. Bye for now.